Well, first of all, gentlemen, thank you both very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us today. Really appreciate that. So we've got important stuff to get into. We've got this new report out here. Bruce, tell us a little bit about it.
So we've been working with Siemens cities and with the Copenhagen Business School on examining how different cities, we chose Hamburg, Manchester, and Pittsburgh, design, finance, and deliver sustainable urbanization projects. Because the bottom line, our cities are really important to how the world grows sustainably, because they have so much control and power over transport, energy, buildings. And what we found, which won't be surprising to this audience, is cities are very different from each other. Hamburg's a city-state. Manchester is basically ruled from the center of England. And Pittsburgh has a great civic and corporate community. So the way projects are delivered, the same projects, are quite different in these three different cities.
What did you find from Pittsburgh?
I think in Pittsburgh's a good example of what we see as a cornerstone for success, and that's when local governments are working with the private sector, the academic institutions, the local foundations and non-for-profits to really build stickiness.
Right.
So a community that can deliver these projects that last 10, 15, or 20 years and can survive, administrative election and budget cycles and really deliver the full community benefit that they're intended to.
Now, Bruce, when you look at these three cities, they're all great cities.
Great cities.
But they're all quite different, aren't they? Is that an issue?
I think it's an issue as we think about how you routinize the delivery of these sustainable projects. Hamburg has enormous power as a city-state. So when you look at how Hamburg deals with transit or deals with energy efficiency, it's very efficient. It's incredibly efficient because you have all this power at the city level. But when you deal with Manchester or when you deal with Pittsburgh, what you see are many other actors are involved in the design, finance, and delivery of projects. It makes it less efficient, maybe not less effective, but less efficient. So we're going to have to learn. I mean, we're in an urban-led world today, and for a bottom-up world. Whether it's dealing with climate or other elements of economic insecurity or demographic transformation. So we're going to have to find the routines coming out of these very varied places if we're going to get success.
It's a really interesting point, isn't it? Because as you say, we live in an urban world, but we also live in very much a global world. But these are very sort of different cities. So you're talking about routinization. How do we do that?
Well, I think it's very important that we're doing this with Siemens, because to some extent, what happens are cities exist within nations, but they transcend nations.
Right.
And the local is going to the global. Siemens is a global corporation. There are obviously global financial institutions in the sustainable space. So we're seeing cities engage with corporations in very new ways so they can deliver these projects efficiently and effectively.
Well, when we look to the future, what's Siemens' view of how localism is going to play out in this kind of a way?
First of all, we're extremely optimistic. We really believe that the world and the sustainable development and climate action, that war will be won or lost on the local government level. And what we see in terms of leadership, in terms of new ideas, innovation, avant-garde approaches to creating these ecosystems, we're unbelievably excited about the progress that we're seeing. And we think that forefront of innovation is really going to happen at that place-based level.
Well, gentlemen, both, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us today. Really appreciate it, and fascinating stuff.